Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called Beyond the Black Rainbow. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. Mercurio Arboria founded the Arboria Institute in the 1960s, a new age research center dedicated to finding a way to reconcile science and spirituality, allowing humans to enter a new era of eternal happiness. Arboria's work was taken on by his protégé, Dr. Nyle, in the 1980s. Nyle, who appears to be a pleasant, gorgeous scientist, is actually a psychopath who has been holding Elena, a young girl, imprisoned in the Institute's infirmary. Elena can only communicate with others via telepathy and has psychic abilities, which Nyle suppresses with a glowing prismatic device. Nyle subjected Elena to frequent interrogations in order to better understand her abilities, during which Elena demanded to visit her father. Elena is kept in a room with a television at night. Nyle spends his nights at home with his wife, a meek woman who appears to care about Nyle despite his lack of love towards her. Nyle takes a lot of prescription medication and wears an expensive wig and contact lenses to hide his complete lack of hair and black irises. Nyle speaks about Elena's dead mother, whom he describes as beautiful and attractive, in an attempt to provoke an emotional response from her. He suggests that Elena's room may contain a photo of her, which she later uncovers under her bed. Margot, Elena's nurse, finds Nyle's case notes on Elena in a wall hole that evening, and discovers weird symbols and imagery that reflect Nyle's intense sexual fixation with Elena. Margot puts the notes back because she is afraid of what they contain. After that, Nyle gets a strange phone call and returns to the Institute, where he finds ash from Margot's cigarette near the case notes. Nyle relaxes by taking a psychedelic drug. Margot's suspicions are confirmed when Nyle informs her that Elena has sneaked drugs into her room. Elena kills Margot by telekinetically smashing her head when she tries to forcefully grab the photos from Elena. Nyle, who is watching Elena's every move, is both intrigued and pleased by Elena's blatant display of psychic ability. He lets Elena out of her cell and activates the prism, which makes her convulse and pass out. Elena is approached by an entity in a red spacesuit, identified as a sentient, who injects her with a syringe before walking away while she is unconscious. Nyle pays Arboria a visit at the Institute. Arboria, despite his senility and drug addiction, refuses to recognize Nyle's madness, considering him to be his best protégé. Elena's mother was Arboria's wife Anna, who was present when Arboria guided a young Nyle through a treatment supposed to allow him to achieve transcendence, according to a flashback to 1966. Nyle was submerged in a vat of black liquid as part of the procedure and had otherworldly, hellish visions. Nyle went insane and murdered Anna. Arboria remained unfazed as she submerged Elena in the black liquid. Nyle murders Arboria in the present by giving her a lethal drug overdose. Nyle returns home without his wig or contacts, attempting to communicate his deep agony to his wife before smashing her head. Elena, meanwhile, manages to flee the Arboria Institute. Instead of capturing Elena, the sentient removes its mask, revealing a mutated, childlike face. Nyle gathers a ceremonial knife he calls the Devil's Teardrop and pursues Elena after dissolving his final touch with the material world. He encounters a pair of heshers while chasing her through the woods around the Institute, whom he kills after claiming one of them had sex with Elena. Nyle eventually cornered Elena in a clearing and begged her to come to him repeatedly. Elena uses her psychic abilities to keep Nyle's feet on the ground, and when he tries to flee, he flings his head against a rock, killing him. Elena, now free of her kidnapper, follows the light from a television set to a nearby town.